Welcome to a new movie. Today we're doing Samaritan on Amazon Prime. I just watched this last night, so this is very recent of me recording it. I'm trying to do get these newer reviews out quickly of stuff I see recently and then kind of work on the backlog. But yeah, today we're doing Samaritan. It's just all this with Sylvester Stallone. This is a very good action movie. It's kind of similar, reminds me of another movie we reviewed on the channel called Anarchy, about a guy who's like a bum, and it's like, hey, is he a superhero, is he not? Because you watch the credits, like, you don't know. You find out he is. Spoilers, you find out he is, but the superhero, like, is he a superhero? He used to be a superhero, but now it's like, is he? He's not really anymore, kind of deal. This movie is similar stuff. It's like, oh, he used to be this character called Samaritan, who used to be a hero. He fought this guy called Nemesis and stuff. Also, before we get any farther, I forgot to give my general thoughts. I really liked it. Really good. I really like this. I actually surprised how much I like this. I'm like, yeah, this is really good. So, explaining it before I give my general review. But it's about these two characters. The beginning talks about the backstory, where it talks about Nemesis and Samaritan. Samaritan's the good guy, Nemesis is the bad guy, and them fighting. And they basically he makes this hammer out of his hatred for Samaritan, the good guy, and they're both brothers. And so he eventually goes and fights him and stuff, and they both presumably die in this explosion thing at this place, at the power plant. So they're both presumed dead. And then this kid, it's about this kid named, I want to say his name is Sam, yeah, Sam. And him is a big fan of Samaritan, trying to figure out that he thinks he's not dead, and trying to figure it out. And then he eventually meets this guy, who is played by Sylvester Stallone, who has, obviously, these kids are bullying him, and then he comes up and just throws them all around like it's nothing, almost like grabs a knife and goes like this, and like bends it and stuff. Like, pretty much now he's Samaritan. So it's like, yeah, oh, he's like the good guy. So yeah, interesting. So they're probably him and there's these bad guys who are trying to take over the world, trying to take over the city and bring like Nemesis kind of back, and they go and steal the hammer. And also the little kid is involved with them. It kind of like gets kind of thrown into them because they need money, because they keep needing money for their place and stuff, because, you know, it's hard and stuff, because the mom works at like his mom works at like a doctor's place, a nurse place, and so obviously doesn't get paid maybe that much, I guess. Gives him money for doing a thing or something, or gives him something. And yeah, it's fun. There's this other guy who works for the bad guy, who's always like, sees the kids, like always like, come like, yeah, you little shit, and tries to beat on him and beats on him and stuff, and it's fun. And then we eventually find out later, Samaritan, obviously the kid gets kidnapped, and Samaritan has to go and save him, and Samaritan, we learn more about Samaritan, and there's just all this stuff about the movie. It's really good with this guy who you think like, is he used to be a hero, now he's not. And then there's a big twist at the end, where I will save till we get to the spoiler part. But yeah, we'll react to this soon. Yeah, so that's the movie. I thought it's really solid, really great. Yeah, we're going to go to the spoiler talk, because I got to tell you about the twist. You find out the twist at the end. So spoiler warnings, if you've not seen the movie, go check it out. Because you do not see this twist coming until it happens. And I'm like, oh shit, I like that. That was so cool. You did it in a way where you didn't really see the twist coming. And usually a lot of times I see it coming, but this one, because they don't do it in a way where like you don't think about it. It's like, oh yeah, because you would never, I think generally would never think that. You think, oh yeah, no, he's the good guy. Samaritan is the good guy. He's the character we're following, is him. We're not following Samaritan. For the entire movie, you think, oh, this is Samaritan. It's not Samaritan at all. It's Nemesis. You're following the villain. So this guy, basically the villain who fought Samaritan and basically lost his brother, he died. So Nemesis, so we're basically following the villain. Not like, he's not really a villain now, but he used to be like the villain. So like we're following the villain character, kind of like, I'm like, oh shit, because they probably used all things you can figure it out, but I didn't figure it out until he said it. I'm like, oh fuck, I didn't think of that. Like, because you don't think of it, like, because you wouldn't think, oh, this guy's the villain. He used to be Nemesis. No, you're like, yeah, no, he used to be Samaritan. But he's Nemesis, and you find out, like, and everybody's like, oh, fuck. And even the big bad guy who was fighting, he's like, oh, everybody's like, oh, fuck, when you find out. It's cool, and then he goes and attacks and fights everybody, and obviously if he kills him, he doesn't care, because obviously he's the bad guy, but he's used to be a villain, so he probably doesn't care about killing people. I don't know if he was a bad guy, or more like a vigilante type character, but see the point. You find out, like, oh shit, and then he is technically, I would say, a reformed, like, he's not really like the bad guy anymore. I would say he's more like Samaritan now. But I don't think he's afraid not to kill people, because at some point for him, like, yeah, you killed that guy. You like stabbed him a couple times and it looked like you cut his throat. I'm like, yeah. So he's not against killing people. But yeah, he goes, eventually fights the big bad guy at the end, saves the day, saves the kid, and all this stuff. It's really fucking great. I really enjoyed this Samaritan. I give this high marks. I'm actually gonna give this, I'm gonna give this exactly a 9. I actually really enjoyed it. I thought it was fun. The twist what surprised me at the end was the big thing. I'm like, you're like, you didn't, unless you saw it coming. Well, I didn't for some reason. I didn't, because you don't think the main character, so some character would be the villain, because they don't, in the trailer, nothing gives that away, and throughout the movie, until he says it, you don't think of that, because they don't show you who Samaritan or Nemesis, like the crew face, what they look like, until like the end. So it's like, oh shit. So make a good reveal. It's really great. Really fun movie. I really recommend it. I give it, like I said, a 9. It's really good. What you guys think of Samaritan? Let me know in the comments down below. You guys can always stay epic. See you in the next video, guys. Bye.